So how many restraining orders does the waitress have?
A lot, dude. I mean, she's been irritated with me. She's like, you got me fired from the Oldies Rock Cafe. You're gonna get me fired from the coffee shop.
This is incredible. You gotta listen to this message. Come here, seriously. This chick is so in love with me, it's crazy.
Hi, Dennis. It's Kaylee. I was just calling to let you know that I hope you die.
Super Flag Bros.
You are obviously a terrible person with no regard for anyone but yourself. I never, ever want to see you again, you steaming pile of horse shit. Go to hell!
Bro, that's amazing.
Division 6 Podcast.
Oh, guys, I have a system, a foolproof system for getting any chick's undying love and devotion for life.
With D's Delaries
And once we're on my bed, it is game over. I engage her physically and the sexual waltz begins.
and P's Delaries.
Smooth. Very, very smooth stuff. Very classy. I'm learning a lot from you right now, dude.
Okay, now, once you've had sex with the woman, she will naturally start to depend on you, okay? All women do this.
They certainly do. You got that right.
Women.
Once you bang them.
Like that.
Welcome everyone to Division E's Super Flag Bros. I am P's Delaries. I have not set my chair yet, so I feel quite short. I now know what it's like to be the Eagle at Master Control, who of course is our producer amongst the cast of characters to make sure this Week 10 edition, leading into the playoff race, into the actual playoffs for Division E, will be absolutely exciting. Of course, if you want to tweet the show live or tweet Eagle in general and harass him with insults, you can tweet him at EagleFPF. I am joined in studio by a man wearing a pajama. His name is D's Delaries.
That's the best compliment I got already.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? And you can tweet him at
I'm officially retired.
I'm officially retired. You can also tweet him at Dave's Republic. And should you feel the desire to contact me with 144 characters or less, you can tweet me at PsFPF. How's your week?
Okay, I just spoiled it, but I have some big news. I'm retiring officially.
You say that week
Yeah.
10 of every season.
I know, but I say that every week.
All right, so spring,
Everyone.
awesome, got it.
Oh, I can't deal with the injuries. It's killing
we'll
me.
see.
I'm getting old.
Yeah.
I gotta get into yoga.
Yeah, it's like the 7th time you do this.
Yeah, but last year I was like, I'm gonna get into a paleo diet. Never worked.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know what that is. I have no idea what that is.
Paleo is, I believe you only eat human flesh.
Yeah, it sounds like you can heal from it.
with the doctor?
Yeah.
No.
Doctor
Yeah.
says yes.
Yeah, he says yes.
Healthy?
No.
Awesome.
Yeah,
He
very
says
healthy.
yes.
So healthy.
We do have a doctor in the
But
house.
aside from
he's
that-
here to help us with some of the injury updates and so on and so forth, of which we have none, so he'll just keep doing his thing.
Nice.
Let's take a quick look at the the final playoff standings before we get into the breakup.
Do our listeners / viewers, can they see it?
Our listeners cannot see it.
Our listeners
Our
can't see
viewers
it.
can absolutely see it live. Of course, they're watching on www.theunclemikeshow.com at the Coast to Coast Studios. See what I did there, Eagle? That's what I mean by the transitions that you're trying to take away from me. In Conference A, Flagrant Fouls finished first, followed by Las Finest. Obama Kerr in the 3 spot. Wolfpack is finally a name I'm going to say properly. They're at 4. Then there's Jean Guy. NWO at 6. Mountain Goats, the most wonderful team of all time. Mountain Goats. Woo! Gentlemen! Because of the Mountain Goats tie, the 8th seed is the Pocket Watch. Who walk ass backwards into the playoffs. As for the rest of the team, is Smoking Axles. Maybe you should have won that game. The Minge, TMNB, sayonara. See you later.
Really,
It says sayonara anymore. That was like an 80s thing.
I really don't get how you're still in the playoffs.
What?
I don't get how you guys are in the
Because
playoffs.
of the Mountain Goats! The glorious Mountain Goats!
get it. I don't
In
get
Conference B, we have Part of My Swag leading it, followed by the Mean Machine, the Sun Bros, Wax On, Wax Off, the Diablos at 5, Beast Mode at 6, Balls Deep are into the playoffs at 7, Tigers are there at 8, then as for Team 4th and 20, Orange Crush, Goon Squad, you're the Barry Horowitz of this year's FPF race. You're just not going to make it.
It's really tough for for Team 4th and 20, eh? The fact that they really just I mean, like they I
Well,
feel
you
like
announce your team would have offensive problems when you call a team 4th and 20.
right, yeah, it's true.
You don't have very high hopes to begin with.
Really sad. But just kind of rewind. I just want to rewind just a tad when you mentioned the Mountain Goats. So they tied 8-8 this week.
Mm-hmm.
How does that happen?
With offensive ineptitude and defensive stellar play.
Botch snap.
And a botch snap, actually.
Both ways.
Which is awesome because GM Collectors and I are both snappers in other teams. Or not this season for GM, but in general, we've been snapping forever. And we made it to the playoffs on a botch snap. from another team. It's wonderful. If that's not karma, I don't know what is. Evidently, I don't know what karma is. The first game I want to talk about this week is the number 2 Mean Machine facing Balls Deep as we do a bit of a playoff preview. More than just the picks that we do, I want to go into a little bit of depth in each of these games. Why don't you tell me what you think is going to happen in this game, why, who you think the key players are, and what color underwear they wear?
Color underwear, I don't really know if I can guess at the moment, but if I was to predict, it'd probably be mostly gray tones and probably a yellow here and there.
Even for Balls Deep, though?
I don't know. It's up to you to fill in the blanks. Now, as for who are the essential players that are really going to make this matchup thrive, I would say that it's all going to lie on Daniel Goloff. I think that he's really the anchor for that team.
Last time they played, of course, he did throw 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. But again, we always say 5 touchdowns is what it takes. Mean Machine did win at 31-24. Do you see that kind of result once again, or do you see a different kind of game?
I still see it as a very close game. But like I was saying, I think that having a much more reliable quarterback in the playoffs can always help you kind of get to that next step. And I think Daniel Goloff has proved to us throughout the season and quite a few times that he's capable of throwing a lot of touchdowns. And he's capable of really taking advantage of a weak defense. Or they've also had a pretty decent schedule. They play against some tough teams.
That's true. For Balls Deep, what do they need to do to be able to beat Mean Machine?
Well, I don't know. When I see them as an aggressive team. They're pretty aggressive. I would never consider them a soft team. So I think that really that's what's going to help them kind of propel them through through this kind of a matchup. Yeah. Anyway,
That's how conversations work.
That's how they work. Yeah. No, but I know that this might be a tough matchup for Balls Deep, but I think that in the end, they do have the mental fortitude to kind of bring them forward. They have a couple of guys in the team that are ballers, right?
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think?
Well, I mean,
rosters?
definitely Balls Deep have a hard one ahead of them. That being said, Nice, right? That being said, in a game like this, I always say it's tough to beat a team twice in FPF. Maybe in Division E, there's a bit
Is
more
that a thing?
disparity.
Is that a thing?
Well, it's just tough because now both teams know what each other are about, and the better teams tend to shine. And I don't know which one is the better team in a game this close. I can see Balls Deep just being able to rough up sort of more of a finesse team in Mean Machine. I let me say this: Mean Machine, I will give them a 3.5 point favorite. Who do you think wins? And I want to just make a pick with the spread. 3.5 points.
3.5 points. 3.5 points. I would take Mean Machine if it was anything more.
So with 3.5, they're the favorite.
Yeah, no.
So you think it's a close game? Mean Machine wins.
Yeah, definitely. But I think that's a fair spread. I think that's going to be a close game.
Speaking of fair, Obamacare. They're at the 3 seed. They face NWO. The previous time they played, Obamacare just took them out, 38-12. It was a tough day for the Sanch. Michael Sanchez struggled, throwing 4 interceptions in this one. The Obamacare is one of the most aggressive, physical, and big defenses. Although they're missing a huge piece in Anthony Tompkins on both sides of the ball. How do you see this game shaking out? Shaking up? Shaking around?
Well, they're going to be missing quite a few players. No. I mean, why don't we backtrack on what we're talking about here? We're talking about suspensions.
Yes.
There's quite a few players that are missing right now. I'm just trying to figure out.
The 2 players suspended for a week. They served that suspension.
They already served that suspension.
Who
were the 2 players? There was Mike Ambro had one.
Mike Ambro missed the game.
Okay.
Hold up.
Eagles bringing it up. I know, as I mentioned, Anthony Hopkins, he's suspended
Andrew
for 10
Hopkins.
games.
10 games.
Andrew Hopkins,
Not Sir Anthony Hopkins.
Not Sir, you can see where I went there, though, right?
But that's 10 games. That usually means
Mike
that
Ambro and Matthew Pisaturo.
Matthew Pisaturo is gonna be back as well. Andrew, the Silence of the Lambs, Hopkins.
that's a terrible suspension to have. 10 weeks. That basically means he punched somebody, but whatever.
He jumped into it, basically, and it's something that's no longer being tolerated in the league, and now
It's
he's
too
hurting
bad.
his team by missing games.
It's really too bad. But anyway, Hopkins wasn't there in this matchup, and they were able to put up quite a solid show against NWO. But that being said, and this in no way takes away from my original prediction when I said that I expect Obamacare to win this division. And I think it's not specifically about one player. When I look at this team, I think that they're pretty strong in general. They have quite a few playmakers, and Andrew Hopkins is an exceptional player in Division 6. But I think that this team has what it takes to kind of surpass that kind of an obstacle.
That's fair. So Obamacare 11 points over NWO.
That's I
have to pick it up.
I would take it. Like I think I would take it in this case because I don't think it's the right kind of matchup. If it was another team, like let's say this was LA's Finest playing against Obamacare. But I'm saying if it was, I wouldn't take that kind of a spread.
Yeah.
But in this situation, no doubt.
That's why the spread exists.
No doubt in my mind, I would take it.
So what does NWO have to do to stay in this game?
I think, well, obviously less gimmicks. Yes, we've talked a few times about their gimmicks, but I don't think it really comes down just to that. I think it's going to be more about on the defensive side. This is not the type of team that you can just let like catch short yardage pass. You can't let this team eat you up on the short intermediate passes because they have so much talent and so much speed that a 3-yard pass can turn into a touchdown. So that's what I'm trying to get at here. Is like it's really about being aggressive, but being smart in short yardage situation, really capitalizing on it. Don't allow any yards after a catch. And I think that the Obamacare, that's really what makes them effective as a team, is that they can turn a 3-yard catch into a 15 or 20-yard play.
That's fair. The 2-seed Las Finest up against the Mountain Goats at 7. I think personally this is a tricky game because Mountain Goats have been surprising teams all season by keeping it close. That being said, they played, LA's Finest did win it 37-7. So I think this game was won in 2 ways. Sorry?
Week 1.
This was week 1. Mountain Goats didn't really know what they were doing. I was there at that game.
Yeah.
They learned a lot since then.
Yeah.
The next thing is that I see this game going one of 2 ways. I see it either being, despite the fact that it was week 1, I see it being a repeat performance where it's just an absolute thrashing by a better, more athletic team, or a close game that LA's Finest aren't really prepared to play. That being said, they are the 2-seed, so they might sneak out a win. But I see it either being completely a blowout or really close right to the finish.
I think you're giving them too much credit. Absolutely. I mean this is a team that barely pulled out a tie against a low team, against Smoking Axes.
But that's to their credit. That's what Mountain Goats have done in a lot of games, is keep it close, give themselves a chance to win because they don't have the offense.
I don't know. I don't see it. What's your spread on this one?
My spread is...
I'll take it, whatever number it is.
My spread is going to be high. It's going to be
12 points?
12 points.
I take it even at 15.
Let's go 12.5.
I take it even at 18.
Right?
No.
Ideally, you want to take it at 18 and not before, because otherwise it might be criminal. Wax on, Wax off at 4. They're facing the 5-seed at Diablos. Last time they played, this was a huge whipping as Wax on, Wax off beat Diablos 48-14. That being said, a couple of things to consider. Diablos have gotten a lot better as the season went on. Wax on, wax off, kind of deteriorating. They're waxing off a little more than they're waxing on.
I'm still trying to figure out what happened because they had 2 quarterbacks this week throwing for them. But anyway, but just going to wax on, wax off, I still think that this is definitely, like, I know that they've been kind of on a downwards trend, but in this situation against this kind of a team, I can't see them losing to Diablos. You?
I was gonna say I would have thought Wax on, Wax off would have been a one and done type team heading to the playoffs, but I think they got very lucky with the matchup that they got. Basically, it's just that's the kind of team that they're gonna do very well against. I actually would have picked an upset had they been paired up with literally any other team in this bracket. I'm going to say, personally, I think Wax on, Wax off will win it. I will set, however, somewhat of a tricky spread at 6.5 points because I don't think it'll be a repeat performance. What do you think?
I think it's going to be way more than 6.5 points. I don't, and once again, I think you give too much credit to some of these teams, man. And in this situation, I understand that, you know, Wax on, Wax off, like, we can't. It's tough because they're both ending off the season on a low. They're both ending off the season on losses, you know. But that you know what, and it's not like Wax on, Wax off lost by a bit. They got thrashed this week against Parma Swag. And to me, I don't know. I look at this matchup. I still can't see a way that if Wax on Wax Off loses this game, it's gonna be a huge upset for me. Because I'll take them with 14 points. But that's
This is a reason.
I'm
you
just
do well
giving
in
out
Vegas.
points.
There's a reason when we went, I was paying your trip home.
yeah. I'm a terrible gambler.
Yes, you are.
Hey, look, it's not my fault. There were like 3 Russians at the table and one girl with magnificent goodness memories.
To be fair, that was the wrong trip you're actually thinking when we're gambling in the Mediterranean, but that's a story for another podcast.
Yeah.
What do Diablos have to do to keep this game close?
According to Eagle, let's give him the due that he needs, if that's an actual word. He says to keep the INTs low and they can stop Wax on Wax Off. I think it takes more than that, and it's it seems like such a simple thing to say. Oh, let's just keep the interceptions low, but it's really about creating opportunities for your players to thrive, not just throwing it deep into the field. You're down by a couple of points, and it happens a lot in our league where a team's down by one or two touchdowns. The next possession they have, it's like every pass we have, we're gonna throw it downfield and hope for a touchdown.
Absolutely.
It's about playing smart, because I think that how Wax on Wax Off loses, they kind of lose when things are kind of close and there's whenever they're kind of put into a corner. I find it's hard for them to back out there.
For sure. We're being told that it's time to cut the break. We can't back down, so we will fulfill that obligation. When we come back, we'll take a look at some of the rest of the playoff games.
Calling the Audible has been brought to you by the English Montreal School Board's DEAL program. Distance education for all learners will allow you to obtain your high school diploma or prerequisites for CEGEP or vocational studies from the comfort of your own home. It's never too late to go back to school. Learn anywhere at your own pace and get your diploma. Call 514-788-5937 for information or visit www.distanted.ca for more details.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to the official Division 6 podcast, Super Flag Bros, starring myself.
Super Flag Bros.
It is Super Flag Bros. We have 2 sets of bros in the house. The first set of bros, of course, is myself, Pease Delariz, and D's Delariz. We can be followed at Pease FPF and
At March Madness.
at March Madness. You can also follow him at Dave's Republic.
Thanks.
For non-March Madness related tweets.
Yeah.
For those of you watching live, you know you're watching at www.theunclemikeshow.com. The Uncle Mike Show, of course, is on at 9 p.m. tonight, where, of course, he will have guests. We are at Coast to Coast Studios with a whole crew of people, including the Eagle at Master Control, who is producing the show marvelously. As always, you can tweet him live at Eagle FPF to be part of the show. We also have a special guest who will join us later for Science Hour with Duke. He is known only as The Improvement, at Master Control,
Nice,
Eagle's brother.
nice.
Because
He
he's
can be reached
better.
on Twitter at the real Chantal Kriviathic.
Fair.
Get out! Is that for real? That's great. That's awesome.
Of course, we all know that he is in fact the real Chantal Kraviasik. In the first game, I just want to get this out of the way as quickly
Do
as
it,
possible.
do it.
The first seed flagrant fouls against the 8th seed Pocket Watch.
Wow. So that's your first matchup.
That's the first matchup.
The key to the matchup: don't suck.
All right, awesome. Thank you. Next
And
game.
also, if you're starting to suck, you better have a contingency plan at quarterback.
Jim Coletters, of course, would be a contingency plan. Who threw a touchdown this week?
Wow. How many did you throw?
Scroll it. I also threw a touchdown.
Okay, so you're tied.
Two Jim Coletters. He pretty much did everything.
Yes.
So last time, of course, flagrant fouls did beat us 36-18. Is this the kind of game you think it'll be? Do you think it'll be different?
It's gonna be way different. I'll give you an over under. Would you take this at?
I'm not betting my own game.
it
I'm
was-
not Pete Rose.
Oh,
How
really?
close that game was? It was 36-18 with 5 interceptions thrown by Pease.
Yeah.
No, really?
And about 5
Yeah, that's what
interceptions
the
dropped
stats
by
is.
Jim Coletters.
3 or 4 of which were to, I think it was Ryan Castile.
What week was this? What week was that you played?
This is about
Week
this season.
2
Week 2.
or 3.
No.
Oh well, I'd imagine that both teams have grown. I think I don't want to just blow your team under the water. I think you guys have a suitable chance if you can show up and play. I think in the end, I mean, you're asking if it's going to be relatively the same kind of an output. I still think you guys will score points, and it's not like you're going to get blown out. Maybe you will.
We're going to find out.
Yeah.
And in order to find out, we'll have to show up to play.
Eagle says, "How many pick sixes will Pease throw? If more than one, Pocket Watch loses."
To be fair, my pick sixes have been the opposing offense's best weapon every week. So without me, most offenses suck. Except
Awesome.
for my own, which sucks with me.
So like we should vote you as an MVP.
Absolutely.
But,
I'm
like-
the MVP of Division E.
No, but like you should give yourself a trophy.
I will. I
Okay.
will make it.
Great.
I will make it. Sunbros, they're taking on Beast Mode. They're the 3 seed versus the 6 seed. Last time they played, Sunbros beat Beast Mode 28-26.
This is actually going to be more of an. I've been taking a lot of the favorites in this situation. I'm going to choose against Sunbros in this one. I think that Beast Mode is on the right kind of trend. They're really not a bad team at all. I think this could be the main matchup the main upset that we'll be seeing. I mean, this week specifically.
I think that's not a bad prediction. It was really close last time. Justin Lerner is a quarterback I've been giving a lot of press to because I like him a lot.
Do you not?
I do. I think
How much?
7.
You take him out the Red Lobster?
I would give him 7 likes. I would create 7 Facebook accounts and like him 7 different times.
That's pretty stalkerish.
I know, right?
Better call the cops.
Justin Lerner, I know where you live. That being said, I kind of agree. I think it'll be a very similar game. However, I think it'll be the opposite. I think Sunbros win. I'm going to give this Sunbros 2.5 points, but you're taking Beast Mode without the spread. You're saying they'll win it like hands down.
No, I'm not saying that it's going to be a beatdown.
I'm saying like with or without the spread, you're taking Beast Mode. Do you think they're going to win it outright?
Yeah, no, I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So you tell me what Beast Mode will have to do to win, and then I'll say what Sunbros will have to do to win. So go.
Beast Mode, in order to win, really like take advantage of the run game. Also, try and attack the middle of the field. I think that's an area of weakness. Also, try and you waste as much time as possible. Like take up the clock as much as possible.
Fair, and I think actually it's going to be a similar plan for Sunbros. I think whoever wins the offensive time of possession will win this game. Part of my swag versus Tigers.
Okay. I will take part of my swag on this one. I think it's gonna be very, very close. But I've kind of changed my opinion a bit on part of my swag. At the beginning of the season, kind of thought even midway through the season, I didn't really have that much faith in them. I do think that they're a very, very good team, and I think that having Brett Evans at quarterback really gives them what they need. I think that having that kind of experience is gonna definitely help them out.
I think part of my swag will be upset, but I don't think it's this week. Tigers are a team I think are better than their record.
I feel like we're gonna be wrong though about this one. I don't know. Something at the back of my mind,
Which is because part of my swag, they haven't impressed given the amount of talent they have on the team. They're one seed, so they have played well, but I just expect a lot more from them overall. The Tigers are a team that's kind of sneaky at times.
Sneaky, that's it.
So it is possible. I think what they're going to have to do is just someone's going to make a couple plays, a couple of picks can turn this game. But I'm going to pick part of my swag. I'm going to go ahead and give this a 13-point spread.
3-point spread's a lot, though. I don't know if I take that.
So what do you think?
If it's a 13-point spread, I'm not going to take part of my swag.
So you take Tigers.
Yeah.
Wolfpack versus Jean-Guy. I think this will be one of the closest ones. First off, who do you think wins the game?
A Wolfpack outright.
Outright? All right. What would Jean-Guy have to do to stay in this game?
Got to be less messy offensively. I think that you have to roll. You have to roll a lot smoother. Wolfpack's the kind of team you can't really afford to go for, like, kind of turn over the ball or throw sloppy passes. I just think in general, I think the Wolfpack's a lot more refined as a team. I think Jean-Guy makes a lot of mistakes that can be really detrimental for them in this kind of game. I think
this is a terrible matchup for Jean-Guy because while Jean-Guy will handle the size well because they're a very physical team, Chartrand's style is very unorthodox and works well against teams that play very specific set defenses.
Right.
Whereas Wolfpack just react to the quarterback.
Oh, they are. They're also very intuitive too. There's a lot of experience, a lot of instinct as well.
So I think it's going to be a blowout similar to last time they played, where Wolfpack won 39-13. I am going to set the spread, the largest spread of the weekend, at 17.5 points.
I'll take it.
Awesome. You'll take the spread.
I'll take this one.
Cool. So you're thinking mostly favorites win. What I'm thinking is it's time for Science Hour with Duke. Every week I take a scientific concept, I throw it to you. You then have to define it, and then that becomes the official definition.
It's terrible. It's terrible because
I'm going to invite our special guest, the Improvement at Master Control, to tell us what this week will be Science Hour with Duke.
Well, generally, I got to say that I hate this concept and I hate this segment, and I'll explain why. It's because I know that these videos are going to exist well beyond when I'm dead.
Oh, they will.
And then on my funeral, you're going to be playing these one after another, and people, instead of taking my funeral seriously, they're going to be laughing at me.
It's a celebration of your life. Deal with it.
That said, I know you've had it pretty rough the last few weeks, so I think I got a pretty easy one for you.
All right.
So today's term is ankylosing spondylitis.
Ankylosing spondylitis.
Ankylosing spondylitis.
Ankylosing spondylitis.
Break it down.
I can spell it out for you if you want.
I don't. Just define it because we're running out of time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think, I'm going to look at it this way.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I hear the word itis, or I think it's like a disease or something that you contract. So, you're walking in a swamp, and then you walk in a swamp for I don't know why. You're probably in a desert somewhere. Not in a desert. You're probably in some place that's got a swamp. Deserts don't have swamps, but you go there. You're walking in it for a while, and then you get like fungus on your ankles, and the only way to get them off is to cut off your ankles, which is a really bad idea. Because I don't know if that's the best way to cure ankylosing spondylitis.
You nailed it. You even redefined the word.
Thanks.
Literally redefined
Literally redefined the word.
Thanks. I'm gonna cry now. I hate you guys. Dude, there's no swamps and deserts, right? I was wrong about that.
There's probably something. That being said, final thoughts.
I don't know what merits a 10-game suspension, but when you're back from a 10-game suspension, I think you need to rework your life a bit, in a sense that you need to understand why you're getting suspended for 10 games in a rec league.
Yeah.
I think that at the end of the day, I've played with a lot of aggressive teams. I played with a lot of teams that talk a lot of crap, but a 10-game suspension, regardless of what it is, you got to reflect on it and say, what did I do wrong?
That's absolutely right. Thank you, Deez. Thank you, Eagle, for all that you do. Thanks everyone for tuning in to www.theunclemikeshow.com. Remember, we have Calling the Audible up next with myself and GM Clethris. I want to give a special thanks to our special guest, the Improvement at Master Control, an actual doctor reading out the Science Hour with Duke. Thank you everyone for watching, and see you at the fields.
Eat more shrimp.